iPhone 6 production to begin later than expected for both models rumored. Google now plans to expand and help you find things all around you. And Samsung starts suing publications over reviews of the Galaxy S5. I'm Jaime Rivera, and isn't it sad when somebody can't take feedback, or not lightly at least? This is Pocketnow Daily. Now this is kind of interesting if we start today off with the official news. As always, Samsung is currently suing the Electronic Times because they did not like the review of the Galaxy S5. And the reason why this is interesting is because, first of all, review units have not shipped to everybody yet. It hasn't arrived at the Pocketnow labs just yet. So a lot of these publications have gotten their phones somehow. I'm not going to specify which way. And obviously some of these phones apparently had issues. We know about the ISO camera issues and the 6 lens that Samsung is using for this phone. So apparently the company wants $300,000 in damages over that review. And you know, it begs to wonder, I mean, why do you push out a product that doesn't abide to a review? I mean, you know what you're risking. Now let's talk about Apple, as there are some recent corporate shakeups. We know that Jony Ive has taken over the design portion of iOS ever since iOS 7, and it turns out that the company's lead designer of iOS ever since it was invented is now leaving, Greg Christie. He's pretty much designed the lock screen, just about everything that has become ubiquitous in smartphones lately. And apparently this is because they were not getting along together. So now Jony Ive will take over the whole design portion of iOS 7. He will not be having any more issues apparently, which is odd. Apparently all this has to do with Scott Forstall. We know that nobody really liked the guy, so stay tuned. Let's see what to expect for iOS 8. Now let's talk about Nokia, as we know that the company is still waiting for the Chinese government to approve the buyout of Microsoft before going ahead with the transaction. And as it turns out, the company has published a statement today confirming that they don't plan to become a patent troll. The company is probably one of the best companies out there handling patents and licenses to everybody. I mean, they do a pretty good job at it. Nobody's actually ever having issues with Nokia with this. And well, the company has just issued a statement just to confirm that they won't become this even after the handset division becomes part of Microsoft, because Nokia will retain the patents. Microsoft just keeps the handset division. So interesting. Let's hope that after this merger happens. Now let's continue talking about Apple. For those of you waiting for the iPhone 6 in either 4.7-inch or 5.5-inch models, as rumors have it, well, it turns out that some credible sources point that the company will not begin production of the 4.7-inch device until July, and apparently the 5.5-inch model will not be launched until sometime in September. And I'm talking about mass production, so it could be months after that for these phones to be launched. It could be that we will be expecting the bigger phablet until spring. It doesn't really make sense right now, as we were expecting for something to happen at WWDC and there were a lot of big rumors out there. But anyways, stay tuned. We never know what Apple could be planning next. And finally, for the very interesting news of the day, there are some leaked documents and code that show that Google is planning to bring new functionality to Google Now. Apparently this functionality will allow you to find your car in a parking lot, which would be perfect for some people that I know that never find their cars in a parking lot. This would be great. Apparently you could just leave and Google Now will remember where you left your car, and eventually you could just ask it to direct you and it'll do the job. And it's really interesting. Hopefully Google figures out a way to do this, especially if you're underground, as GPS functionality is never really perfect underground. But that leads me to the question of the day. What command is left for Google Now that you want? What command would you wish that Google Now did that it currently doesn't do? In my particular case, it's kind of hard. I mean, it does a really good job for me so far, but hey, I would love for it to order dinner for me, especially right now. But leave us a comment down below. What do you want? And friends, you know the drill. If you want to get the news earlier before this video is filmed, make sure you follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.